They say that courage isn't the absence of fear, but rather the decision to act despite it. And tonight, on Black America and Africa History, we will explore the hushed courage of the Freedom Schools. Have you ever heard their stories? Let's begin. Welcome to Black America and Africa History. It's me. Every day we bring you the untold stories that shaped our past and present. Stories that connect us and remind us why we must keep going. We believe these stories deserve to be heard. And as always, I encourage you to follow for more updates. Now, close your eyes and let this adult storytelling for sleep guide you to rest. Picture Mississippi in 1964. The air hangs heavy with the scent of honeysuckle and the murmur of cicadas. It's the height of summer, a time when the sun beats down on the parched earth and the days stretch out long and languid. But in the small town of Mount Baylor, Mississippi, there's a different kind of heat building. Not the heat of the sun, but the heat of determination, the slow burn of quiet courage. In a little wooden schoolhouse, the air grows still with the promise of change. Inside, a group of African American students are gathered. The room is dimly lit by the soft glow of oil lamps. Hanging from hooks in the walls, at their desks, they sit in silence, their pencils moving slowly across sheets of paper, their brows furrowed in concentration. They're writing, pouring their thoughts and feelings onto the pages, creating stories from the rich tapestry of their lives. Outside, the wind whispers through the trees, carrying with it the sounds of the evening, the distant call of an owl, the cricket's gentle chirp. But inside the schoolhouse, there's a hushed energy, a sense of purpose that silences all but the scratching of pencils. These are the Freedom Schools, a haven for African American children in a time when they were denied the right to education. Here, in the quiet of the evening, they learn not just from textbooks, but from life itself. As the night deepens, the room fills with the murmur of voices, the soft rustle of papers being passed around. A young teacher with eyes full of kindness and determination stands before them. Her name is Miss Emma, a volunteer who has come to this small town to make a difference. She holds a well-worn book in her hands, its pages filled with stories and lessons that have touched generations of readers. Miss Emma opens the book slowly, her gaze sweeping over the familiar words. Then in a voice as soft as the summer night, she begins to read. Her voice fills the room, weaving tales of bravery, resilience, and hope. The students lean forward, their eyes shining with wonder and excitement. Each word is a seed planted in their young minds, taking root and growing into dreams of a better future. The stories she reads are not just adventures or fairy tales. They are narratives of real people, people who have overcome challenges, who have fought for justice and equality. With every page, Miss Emma ignites a spark in her students, a spark of curiosity about their own history, their own heritage. As the night wears on, the students take turns sharing their own stories, their voices gaining confidence with each word. They talk about their families, their hopes and dreams, and the challenges they face in their everyday lives. In this safe space, they find solace and strength in their shared experiences. After the stories are shared, Miss Emma leads them in discussions, asking questions that make them think, that challenge them to question the world around them. She encourages them to be critical, to use their voices, and to stand up for what they believe in. The room buzzes with activity as the students engage in lively debates, their young minds grappling with important ideas. It's not always easy, though. There are times when the weight of the world outside the schoolhouse seeps in, when fear and uncertainty linger in the air. But Miss Emma and the students persevere, their determination fueled by the belief that knowledge is the key to unlocking a better future. As the night deepens, the students begin to wrap up their lessons. They pack away their books and materials, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the oil lamps. Before they leave, Miss Emma gathers them in a circle. She talks to them about the importance of their education, about how knowledge is a weapon against injustice and a tool for creating change. As the last student leaves, the schoolhouse falls silent once again. The wind outside picks up, rustling the leaves and making the windows rattle. But inside, there's a sense of accomplishment, a feeling that these young minds have grown just a little bit brighter that night. Days turn into weeks, and weeks into months, and the Freedom Schools continue to thrive. In small towns and cities across the South, African Americans come together to create havens of learning for their children. They gather in churches, community centers, and even their own homes to provide a space where Black children can learn and grow without the constraints of segregation and prejudice. The schools are run by dedicated teachers and volunteers who understand the profound impact education can have on shaping young lives. They create a curriculum that goes beyond textbooks, incorporating discussions about race, identity, and the importance of social change. Despite the challenges they face, including threats and violence from those who oppose integration and equality, the organizers and teachers remain steadfast in their commitment. They understand that they're not just teaching children, they're instilling hope for an entire community. As news of the Freedom School spreads, more and more people get involved. Local leaders and activists provide support, while sympathetic white Americans from the North send donations and supplies to help sustain these vital learning centers. Slowly but surely, the Freedom Schools become a beacon of change, a symbol of the growing civil rights movement. They empower the next generation to challenge the status quo and demand a better future. One evening, as the sun begins its slow descent, casting long shadows across the land, a group of students and teachers gather in the Mount Baylor Schoolhouse. They're preparing for a special event, a community meeting that will bring together people from all over the South to discuss the progress of the Freedom Schools and strategize for the future. Excitement and anticipation fill the room as the attendees arrive. There are parents, local leaders, representatives from civil rights organizations, and even some sympathetic white allies. The room buzzes with conversation as old friends catch up and new alliances are formed. A young organizer named Septima Clark steps forward. She has been instrumental in establishing the Freedom Schools, and her passion for education and social change is evident in her every word. She speaks about the incredible progress the schools have made, the number of children enrolled, the impact on the community, and the potential for even greater things to come. The group discusses the challenges they face, including the ongoing threat of violence and intimidation from those opposed to integration. But they also talk about the successes, the inspiring stories of students who have overcome obstacles and excelled in their studies. As the meeting draws to a close, everyone feels energized and ready to take on the world. They know that together they can make a difference, that they can challenge the deeply rooted systems of segregation and inequality that have held back generations of African Americans. With renewed determination, the Freedom Schools continue their vital work, shaping young minds and fostering a sense of empowerment in Black communities across the South. As the years go by, the legacy of the Freedom Schools lives on. The impact of these quiet summer nights reverberates through history, inspiring future generations to fight for education and equality. And so the story of the Freedom Schools becomes a hushed lullaby, a gentle reminder that even in the darkest of times, the pursuit of knowledge and justice can bring light and hope to the world. That's the end of tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed this sleep story for deep sleep. If you did, please remember to subscribe. And if you'd like to support us further, visit our website to make a donation. Your support helps us continue sharing these important stories. Also, Don't forget to follow us across various platforms to stay updated with our latest episodes. Thanks for listening and sweet dreams.